This moment always struck me as poor writing in a game with an otherwise excellent script. Gwyndolin similarly talks in a manner which seems overly dated, yet he is the youngest deity we meet. He is younger than Quelana, Goth, and quite possibly Artorias and Kieran, yet none of these characters talk so ridiculously. Goth talks in clear, modern language, as do all the other characters we encounter. Just listen to the language of the legend. Thou who art undead art chosen in thine exodus, and so on and so on. It sounds ridiculous. The marvellous script of Dark Souls is not flawed, however, because Dark Souls is trying to tell us something. The legend has been manufactured and sounds old in a jarring, artificial way because it is not old at all. It's a trick. We're being fooled, as Oscar has been, to believe that this legend has been around for eons, that it has been followed and failed at, and that a true hero will come soon. Instead, we're a new solution to the old problems. To fix the problem of the undead and feed the flame, perhaps now the Four Kings are not carrying out their role. I am aware we all know that we are now being shepherded as fodder, but I want to show that the legend that we follow is a recent creation. Ingrid is deserted by the two other sealers long ago. This is from the cut content, Ring of Blind Ghosts, and the Crestfallen Warrior dialogue. At some stage before the chosen undead arrives, a dark beast assaults Astora. This is long ago enough to pass into legend, but it can only be placed before the chosen undead, with certainty. Since the ring is found in the depths, we can maybe assume that the beast assaulted Astora before the undead burg began exiling people, and maybe the wearer of the ring was one of those with insatiable greed. A great many undead spawn at Boulder. This is a non-specific point on the timeline, however it must be before the chosen undead arrives, and within the last century that Night King Rendel seeks Anor Londo. This is due to the Crestfallen Merchants dialogue. The Balder Helm also mentions that Balder was the home of Night King Rendel, past tense, combined with the fact that the Crestfallen Merchant says no one has been successful and that he strips armour off corpses, we can assume that Rendel dies in his attempt. The Crestfallen Merchant, who strips armour off corpses of undead who fail in the attempt, sells Katarina, Berenice, and Balder equipment. This implies that all these regions follow the legend, again undermining Oscar's belief that there is a saying from his land. Black Iron Tarkus takes on Sens and succeeds, but likely dies soon afterwards. Logan travels to Lordran, wishing to get to the archives and pursue his thirst for knowledge. He tries and fails to overcome Sen's fortress, or he deliberately rests and is locked up by the Serpent Men, hoping that they will take him to the archives. Rickert is exiled and travels to Lordran. He is locked up in New Londo. He has never met Logan, as his dialogue says he has heard of him, which implies he has not met him. Therefore, I place this after Logan's departure if Rickert is not born until after Logan leaves. Demons move into the Undead Burg for their own motivations. The Undead Merchant states that things are getting more dangerous and that a goat demon has moved in below. This implies a recent development. Finally, we welcome on the scene the Chosen Undead. Velka is still alive as she oversees, present tense, the Book of the Guilty. Also, her talisman belongs to her, and she is versed in arts old and new. The firstborn son is still alive as well, as he still watches carefully over his warriors. We enter this complex world with no idea of all the web of intentions and the history that we are about to become a major part of. And the rest is history. I hope you all found this interesting and the analysis wasn't too intense. There was a lot of research that went into this video, and I hope it gives some more insight into the lore of this well-loved game. In order to do the timeline in detail, we had to approach the lore in its entirety. Thanks to this broad, yet in-depth and time-consuming approach, we are ready with new insight into many other aspects of the game. Do subscribe and stay tuned for some upcoming, shorter and more focused videos that will deal with more isolated topics and characters. Expect some surprises, and instead of answering your questions with even more questions, expect some answers.